computer. Good morning. I'm Amanda Sharp, the mama.
Andrew Lang, the bachelor.
Aaron Leduc, the dad.
And if Aaron sounds a little muffled and a little far away, it's because he had to call into this podcast this morning for technical difficulties, which is no big deal. We make it work. So we're happy you're here, Aaron.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I'm calling from the car, so.
Obviously, you're not driving, right? No, of course not.
It's totally accurate.
You're totally in a parking lot just trying to chill. So let's go right into today is September 11th and what that means. Super sad day.
It is.
Now, I think this is something from our generation that we're always going to remember the day and where we were.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, AJ, bless your heart.
I was sleeping.
That little baby was resting peacefully in his bed, couch, crib, playpen. I don't know what was.
Somewhere. I was born in 2000, so that would have been.
You were like 1 year old.
Almost a year when September 11th just happened.
I mean, I'm sad that was the case, but at the same time, I'm not sad that that's the case because it was a terrible time. And a little interesting fact about the babies that were born during like that 9/11 time frame are the same ones who are dealing with this like pandemic and were like robbed of graduations and proms and stuff. And that's so sad.
Well, I do want to give a little shout out to my best friend, Matt Williams. His birthday is today as well.
Happy birthday. Was he born on, is he your age? So he was born in 2000?
He was born 2001, September 11th.
That day.
He was born,
So that mama remembers where she was and exactly what was going on. And probably that was a very scary time for her.
Oh, yeah. I even asked him, I was like, so what did your mom think when that happened? She just gave birth to you, and there was just the biggest terrorist attack in U.S. history.
That gives me goosebumps because, think you just brought a child in this world, and we could be, literally going to war the next day.
She's probably great. This is all I need.
Right. I agree. Aaron, where were you this morning 19 years ago?
So if I remember correctly, it was a Tuesday. And this was my second day of college. I had my first day on Monday, and then my schedule was Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And I was actually working at the grocery store when it happened. And his name was Tom LeBeau. He was in the produce department. Apparently, he listened to the news or something, or he had the radio going in the back. And he came to the front. He made an announcement. Everyone just stopped what they were doing.
He made an announcement after he knew it was confirmed what it was, not after the first plane, after the second and then the third.
First plane, he came and said it, and we're all like, oh, wow, that's weird. And then I'm sorry. He came when the second plane hit. He came out and goes, another plane just hit. I think we're under attack. And that's when everyone was like, what?
It's literally giving me goosebumps because I can remember that so much. It's not just because it's cold, although it's cold here now. But it was such a weird thing to hear and think that a plane would be the means of an attack. It wasn't ever, not a plane of soldiers going to fight a war, not, just a plane of civilians that were doing their daily grind, essentially. And it's crazy. I was at, how did you feel about that, Aaron, when you heard it?
Like you said, it's kind of like a surreal feeling where it was like, is this happening? It was, I don't say it scars you, but it definitely leaves a mark where you're it didn't feel like things were the same. You know what I mean? The rug got pulled from under you.
Yeah, absolutely. I was at work, the hardware store, and I think customer came in and said it, and we were like, what? And then we went and found a TV. We had an old TV with an antenna that we used to put VHS tapes into for trainings and stuff like that. So funny. That part's funny. And so we got that TV out, we're banging on it for the news to come in clear, because that's what you used to have to do to the TVs, to get it to work right, Aaron? You gave it a little knock on the side. Put the antenna up real high. Actually, I think we took an antenna off the shelf to get like just basic normal news to come in. And it was just everyone who came in just stood there like by the front of the store, like watching the events unfold. And we didn't know, like in the beginning, during that first one, we were like, like this is just a tragedy.
Right.
I remember my mom was just like glued to the news.
Yeah.
And we were like, we just stopped. We had dinner with the news still on, and it was like, couldn't get enough information fast enough.
That was, and it was pre like Facebook. It was pre like everything. So really that TV or the radio was exactly how you got your information. And it was in real time, but it was slow real time. It just felt so slow, like so slow. And then just to watch like throughout the day as like the towers collapsed, it was just like blow after blow after blow. And then the recovery efforts and the cleanup efforts just took forever to like complete. I mean, how long do you think that took to complete, Aaron? I can't remember that time frame. It just felt like forever.
Yeah, it's I agree. I was so bummed because I had all this homework to do. And I was like, well, do I do my homework or do I watch the news?
Never. Never.
Just to be safe. And then, of course, every one of my professors was like, oh, don't worry about the homework. You should have been watching the news. And I was like, dang it.
I was definitely obsessed with that. I mean, definitely. That was, I mean, for days and days and days. I would say, I don't think it was that day, but like the following day, once we knew that it was a true attack on our nation, like not just a tragedy. I mean, obviously it was a tragedy, but it was an attack that caused that tragedy. People just came in and bought everything they could possibly get their hands on that was red, white, or blue.
Yep.
And it was, we could not put things out fast enough. Like our flags were sold out. We were pulling out red, white, and blue Christmas lights. I mean, anything that we could find that was red, white, or blue, we were just bringing to the front of the store, and people were just like buying it all. And AJ, that's one thing that you'll never like get to experience probably again. And I'm not saying I want a tragedy to happen for you to feel that way. So if it doesn't happen, it's okay. But to go and literally drive past every single house and see an American flag plastered, like every place you turned, there was something patriotic. And it was so, I think it was the only time in my lifetime that our country was truly united.
You know, yeah, I really haven't felt that sense of unison since, especially nowadays.
Yeah, there's so much division.
But then again, like we have other people's opinions more available to us.
Yeah.
And, everyone's more with social media putting their ideas out there, whereas before, it's a lot easier to put your ideas and political standings in front of people when you're doing it from behind a screen. But, if you're at a cocktail party and you're discussing, sometimes politics will get debated, but a lot of times they just weren't discussed in person.
I agree. Well, and then so much of that was just like, I think people were just so numb. They didn't know how to digest what just happened.
Mm-hmm.
True.
It was such a, like you said, surreal experience. And I definitely think we got better because of it. I'll never, I watched that clip of the president being notified when he was reading that book to children, like at a school. And they walked up, talked to him in his ear, and he just sat there for a second and digested the restraint he had to feel.
Oh, I know.
But what an amazing art of the game to be able to sit there and not hop up and go, what the heck?
Especially as the president, you're in charge.
Yeah. Well, in bravo, and kudos to his Secret Service, who didn't just whisk him up and make him leave instantly either. They allowed him, there wasn't a sense of panic, which probably gave the public a sense of a little bit of ease, in my opinion, as much as you could feel easy during that time. And
poor kids, he couldn't freak out. He had the kids in the room. They were
exactly.
young.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that was super impressive.
To answer your question about how long it took
Yeah.
to
Yes.
I Googled it. It says it took 9 months.
I was gonna say I felt like it for sure was over 6 months, but that year felt just as long as the year we're in right now.
Ask which year was longer, or
um,
2020 or 2000?
I'm personally, I'll answer first, Aaron, if you're okay with that. I personally think 2020 is just feeling longer because with that, we knew what happened pretty quickly. We reacted pretty quickly. The cleanup happened as quickly as the cleanup could. I mean, that was a massive undertaking. I feel like there was more instant gratification of seeing things being done, where I just think this year is just with the pandemic, it's just we can't get any information that anyone 100% believes, no matter what side of the equation you're on. So you're going as the best as you can, and there's so many restrictions. Nothing is fast. There's no instant gratification. Yeah, like Owen started school on Tuesday, still don't have a Chromebook, and he still has no login information for his online schooling. They're like, we're hoping for next week. Like that's what 2020 is feeling like, where 2001 just did not feel like that to me. Aaron, what are your thoughts living through both?
I agree. I think this year was definitely the longer year. I mean, especially since, this has been going on since March of 2020, whereas the other one, would have just started today, even with the 6-month or 9-month cleanup. But I think, again, we're more divided. It feels like we're more divided today than we've ever been. Whereas you really had that sense of unity, like everyone was in it together, like in 2001.
I know I keep trying to say 2001. I'm like, no, that's wrong. It was 2001. It's 2020. it's hard to flip my brain. And it's so unfortunate that it's that way this year. And I don't know what can make it better. And I feel like we're going to feel this in 2021 as well.
Mm-hmm.
The lasting, lingering effects. I feel like we do a really nice job as a country at remembering 9/11, and that makes me happy.
Do you remember, like shortly after 9/11, like you kind of were, how do I put this? So like, you ever notice how like if you're in your car and you get rear-ended, you for the first like couple months after the car accident, you're always watching your rearview mirror to see if like
yeah.
And it kind of felt like after 9/11, like anything in the news, it was instant. Wait, is this another attack? Is this another like could be like fire downtown? Wait, is this another attack? And I remember when the whole house lost power, and like I don't know how Ida was affected, but where I was at in Newport, we lost power as well. And I remember like everyone like kind of like, oh my God, is this another attack?
It was. I agree with you. There was like that sense of like. Right now it's I think I don't mean to compare the two, but I feel like there's a feeling to both things that we're dealing with in this world, and where people were afraid to fly after 9/11, and now people aren't necessarily feeling comfortable to fly because of the virus. So yeah, I feel like there's that post-traumatic stress syndrome to some degree that you're going, man, if I fly, how is this gonna affect me? If a propane place blew up, you're going, was this an attack? Where accidents happen every single day, but you were right, you were just like heightened because of it.
And I felt in 2001 like there was still probably the same amount of fear that there is now, but it's more like you were afraid, but you weren't alone. Whereas with pandemic, it's like everyone's afraid and everyone's alone. There's no unity.
Yeah, you can't say you are afraid or not afraid in 2020.
Exactly.
You're going to get attacked one way or the other, where everyone in 2001 can say, I was scared. I was very scared. And I didn't know. And everyone, even if they felt okay to handle and go on to the next day, they at least had empathy for that person, going, I can see why you were scared. Your husband's a pilot. Sure. There was so much more grace and understanding in 2001.
What changed?
Definitely more unity.
Definitely more. Definitely more. Well, we definitely feel with all those families that definitely lost those loved ones that will never, their lives changed completely that day. Um, and
There's
for all the people who fought, those fights for us, not on our land to protect us from something like that, hopefully never happening again. Stu's calling me at the moment. I'm not picking up. Stu, if you're listening, I'll call you right back as soon as this is done being recorded. He's so cute. Hi Stu, at the conservatory. So Aaron, are we allowed to talk about, let's go into something a little bit more chipper and happy. Do you have an announcement that we're able to share today?
I was just thinking, like, man, do I really want to couple this with the 9/11 show?
I feel like this is what people need to hear, though, to move on to the future. You know what I mean? And be happy that there is a tomorrow. Are you still there? Did we seriously lose him during this moment?
No, he's still on. He's just.
I'm washing my hands. I'm literally just walking in the door.
Oh, can you hop on? And for your announcement, you want to get on your computer?
No, because I gotta hop off in 8 minutes anyway.
Oh, okay. So he had us muted for a minute. So when you're done washing your hands, did you want to give us your announcement?
I didn't even mute it. So I am the dad of the podcast, but I'm going to be a dad again to a little baby girl.
You said those words.
I did.
Were you allowed to say those words?
That's how winded. I'm bending over to untie my shoes. And, definitely rocking the dad bod. I'm feeling it today for sure.
So what an exciting thing to be able to share this morning. So I love babies. And I am thrilled that Auntie Mandy is going to actually, because when we met for the second time, William was already older and set in his way with people he liked. So, I mean, I can't force myself on him, but he'd be like, lady, I'm never going to love you. Like, I know your name and that's good. But the new baby, Auntie Mandy.
I did a funny joke with Amanda, AJ, where I did a Snapchat where I was telling William Aunt Amanda was picking him up from school today. And he's like, whoa, why? I was like, well, Dad's busy. He's like, well, what about Mom? I'm like, Mom's busy. And he's like, you really didn't know how to handle it. And then we were like, I'm just joking. He goes, oh, you.
Yeah, he was trying to be so brave, but his little head was thinking of all the other people he would prefer other than me. And he's like, what about Mom? She's busy. He was just like, oh, like the life out of the child just continued to like fly out in the Snapchat. It was cute and fantastic. And I expected no other reaction but that. But this sweet baby.
But at least he was trying to be polite with you.
He was. He really was. I'm impressed at his ability to shift. And he has a filter when he wants to have that filter.
See, I think if he knew you better, he would have come up with something knowing him just to totally mess with you.
Oh.
That's how he rolls. Like, he'll go out of his way to...
As he gets older, I can see that. He's going to know, like, what buttons he can push with me. And so when you do that, he's going to be able to have that perfect response. Yeah. He's a clever kid.
I can see him be like, my sister doesn't really like you.
So yeah, that's true. That is true, but that's okay. I'll take what I can get from these kids. So instead of being Aaron LeDuc, the dad of one, it's going to be Aaron LeDuc, the dad of two.
I know, man. I know. William's main concern was if he'd have to share his iPad.
That was precious. That was so precious. AJ, how do you feel about this news?
I'm very excited for you, Aaron.
Well, thank you. I'm excited for you to come over and change diapers.
Uh-huh.
hang out. And,
Yeah,
yeah.
diapers.
AJ, if I'm there, I'll handle it for you. Don't you worry.
I've changed maybe one diaper in my life.
Did you actually change one before?
I believe so. I think I've changed my youngest cousin Ryan, his when he was a baby, his diapers maybe once, but I don't
That's impressive. I wasn't expecting you to like change any. I mean, some people, you were the baby of the family. So like there's, not always the opportunities
know.
to do
I
that.
didn't have a younger sibling, so.
Yeah.
AJ, cool, exclusive second born club, as in myself.
Yeah, whatever, guys. I was the third.
Hey,
First diaper
second.
I ever changed was my son's. So nothing like having your first experience beyond a newborn, and it's all that black tar stuff.
Yeah. Oh, so have a quick story about that. Marcus can't listen to this one because he'll deny it. But I remember I had a C-section, so for me to get in and out of the bed was really hard. So Marcus, it was that first poo, and it is like black tar. You are not a kidding, Aaron. And they did not give us wipes. They gave us wipes that you have to wet with water. And he he tried his best. And he is not a wiper. Like he has 3 younger sisters. So he had changed a diaper before. It's not like he hadn't. And he just was like, I don't know what to do with this. So I had to I beeped in the nurse. I was like, we need help changing a diaper. It was so embarrassing. But that black tar stuff it's serious business. It's serious business. And then there's, the blowouts, which are a whole different set of serious business. But I would take a blowout versus that black tar. Am I right, Aaron?
100%.
100%. But I mean, I don't mind changing diapers.
Blood is on me.
Depends what I'm wearing.
Because if I'm really dressed up and it's just a little black tar, yeah, I can roll the sleeves and handle that. But if it's if I'm just in like a Krugger t-shirt and I'm sitting around the house, kids bouncing on my leg, and there's a blow, it's like, oh, all right, we got this.
It happens. You have extra clothes, and I think any mom would be lying if she can't say the word, she's just lying, that she's wore clothes with poop on them in that first year or so of having a baby. Because when you're out and about and there's a blowout, you have extra clothes for that baby. It's not like I brought extra pair of clothes for me. So you use a baby wipe the best you can and you move on with your life.
Newborns are disgusting. Parents of newborns are disgusting as well.
I mean, there's spit up. There's so much. Like I can smell spit up a mile away on like a shirt. Even if it's dry, I'm like, oh, you got spit up on today. There's just a unique smell.
It does. It certainly does. And then, yeah, it's
AJ's like, I'm not a fan of this. AJ, I promise you, if we have the baby here at the office, and I mean, obviously Aaron's here too, but I'll take care of all those like messy things if Aaron's busy. You can just love on the baby.
That's what I just like the cuteness of the baby. I don't want to deal with any of the
That's
poop.
okay. You can be that cool Uncle AJ.
There you go.
Like super cool Uncle AJ. Really, like by the time like the kid is 10, you're going to be basically 30, which is like a super cool age for a 10-year-old. Am I right, Aaron?
I think whatever age I am is super cool for like nieces and nephews. So it's
I think having, an uncle in their 30s is really fun. Like I feel like when you're uncle in your 20s, you're very peer-like.
Mm-hmm.
They almost like think of you more like that brother, but when you're in your 30s, you're definitely cool uncle. Well, not for a lot of women, because I immediately go into that weird aunt, like that, women just aren't cool. No offense to some of the cool aunts and cool women out there. But when you're a mom, like sometimes you just lose your cool. It's just what happens. So we are basically almost out of time, and I cannot believe it because we only covered really 2 topics today, but 2 good topics. Two really good topics. Any final words, Aaron?
My Aunt Zena is cool.
You're proving me wrong. Your Aunt Zena? Did you just say Zena?
Yes, Aunt Zena. And how can you be an Aunt Zena and not be?
I feel like it comes with the name.
I would agree.
That's an unfair advantage.
And Aunt Zena, if you're listening, I still have never tried your homemade ravioli. Just throwing that out there.
Ooh, that's a good meal for after a baby's born. Come over in a casserole dish.
Yeah. Although she lives 3 hours away.
No excuse.
She would make me biscuits and gravy though, which I'm a big biscuits and gravy up there.
I am not a good cook. I think we all know this. But one thing I can actually make is biscuits and gravy.
I'm trying.
I knew I liked you, Amanda. I knew I liked you.
That is, so one day when we have like an early training or something like that, or if we have like an all day con ed, at the office, I'll bring some biscuits and gravy in the crock pot. I've brought that to like tailgating before, and it actually holds up really well because, tailgating, if the game starts at 3, you got to get there at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
My face is not a happy face when I say that.
Not for major league anything, but we would tailgate for like my high school football team, especially if it was like homecoming or our regionals or whatever they call it. We would always tailgate for that. I mean, it wasn't like crazy, but
no, I mean, ours isn't either. We just hang out and you just are there. And I mean, part of it is to get the better parking spot. So when you're leaving, you're in the spot strategically that's easiest to get out. It might not always be closest, but it's in that spot that it's not too far away from the stadium, but like you can get to the, route to get home quickly. There is strategy in that. So I like your Aunt Zena. I like that you like biscuits and gravy, Aaron. AJ, any final words from you?
If you don't, just keep trying, You said you're a bad cook. I think I'm a bad cook, but I'm trying. The only way to learn is to keep doing it.
It's true. And I think I found out during quarantine, I'm a little bit better than I gave myself credit for. I think lack of time definitely changes what you can provide and create.
That's a phrase I try not to say. I don't have the time.
Nice.
That's a whole nother podcast. Let me write that down. Writing that down right now. We'll discuss that next Friday. Well, I mean, sometimes you really don't have the time, but you've made the decision to not have that time because you filled it up with something else.
Exactly.
So I dig it. We'll talk about that. I like it. And for me, to be fair, I might be a better cook than what I thought I was, but I hate to cook. So those are my final words. But congratulations again, Aaron. We're just super excited about that new baby. We cannot wait. February cannot come here fast enough. Hopefully like the quarantine and all that good stuff will be gone and we'll be able to like celebrate a little bit more come February.
Like 2 people at the hospital. I think that would be not that
I don't know. I don't know how I would have reacted having a baby during this time. I don't know. I think it's a bummer that you can't have the people that are your support system, in with any medical thing. And even if not just delivery, but just sick in general in the hospital, like they're limited to one person. And it's a bummer. So I can't wait until all this is gone and life can go on as normal and people can do what people do best, be people. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody. And I'm going to do what Aaron always says we should do, but I never do. Make sure you like this video, share this video, and comment because that helps us out. Follow us on YouTube and all of those other good locations, social media platforms. It was probably a better phrase, but I'm Amanda Sharp, the mom.
Andrew Lang, the bachelor.
Aaron LeDuc, the dad,
times 2. Again, we're so excited about that. Thanks for tuning in, and we will talk to you next week. Bye.